I love them. But I don't like actually know the references. I just like the brain rot memes.
Yeah, I don't know what brain.
I don't know what that is either.
But I'm glad you're imbibing in the culture of our time.
Are you guys familiar with Baby Gronk?
It's from a commercial, right?
No, not at all.
It's from Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, I wish. He's from the New England Patriots. No,
Baby Gronk.
dude. Oh, really? Is this a bit? I don't
No, I know who Gronkowski is, but I don't know what Baby Gronk is.
Baby Gronk is like he's like this fifth grader who's on Instagram, and his dad is this Instagram page, and he's like, "My son's the greatest football player ever. He's the best fifth grader," and he does all these weird like publicity stunts where he's faking getting all these college offers right now. And he's like
a TikTok personality.
Yeah.
For being delusional.
Well, I don't think it's the kid who's crafting it. I think it's all his dad. And it's like the running joke is like he's raising up these like celebrities, and they'll like put him in front of like hot women, and it'll be like, look at this fifth grader, flirting with this hottie, and it's like this whole thing. Never mind.
That's interesting. So you're just watching
fifth graders hit on women.
You know what? When you word it like, no, it's like it's not even that.
What's the appeal of it?
The appeal is this kid's life is slowly falling apart, and we're watching because he's not actually that good at football, but his dad has like built up this page, and he's like, and he'll hire like.
That's what we tell people that's what they're supposed to do with their life. That's the pinnacle of being human.
I don't know. It's this weird thing. But people meme this kid where they're like, Baby Gronk's rizzing up my lady, or like, I can't explain brain rot memes. I'm not like Gen Alpha.
So they're just using this character to be like, he's an idiot and we're all acting like he's awesome. And
yeah, it's like memes.
And we're using him to express our worst fears in social situations, like when someone's rizzing up your woman.
I think that might honestly, quite frankly, be too intellectual for how they view it, and I'm not even sure if that's exactly. I think he's just like this punching bag because he's this like really cocky. He's like really cocky too, and he's like in your face. He's like, I'm the best, and he's like, you all suck. You're a bunch of losers, and so people are like, well, screw this. Fifth graders being fed these delusional lines by his dad.
So you think he's like he's not in on the bit.
No, he's not. No, he's not self-aware at all.
Wow.
He's also.
No, I just happened to yawn at that.
Now I don't feel self-aware. I feel really self-conscious.
Sorry, I didn't yawn in that moment.
Let the record show. I don't think this is my best showing of who I am as a person.
This is a great start if we're live right now. That's crazy.
Yeah, W's in the chat if you're a fan of Baby Gronk.
Baby Gronk, everybody. I feel like you're Baby Gronk, dude.
I'm sitting here. I have no idea how to explain Baby Gronk to someone who doesn't know who Baby Gronk is.
You think this is too high? Like lording over us?
I actually like it. I like the angle a lot.
That's cool. That works.
Do you wanna? Should I scoot in or no? You should.
You want me to scoot in? I can be right here.
I like that. Do you feel calm and relaxed laying back, Hans?
Yes. I just don't want any of Anthony's body language to be covered by, like if you're slumping your shoulders, you might not be able to see it.
Anthony's so sassy with his body language. Ooh, hey, oh, boy, Poppy.
Someone says, "What's up, Hans?"
Whoa. What is up, Hans? What's going on in your life?
Anyways, let's talk about Baby Gronk some more.
No, if we didn't talk about Baby Gronk anymore, I'm gonna lose my mind.
My life has been consisted of trying to win back my girlfriend and my dating life.
Do you pine? Do you pine over women when they leave?
Yes.
I'm a man who pines.
What does that mean, pine?
Like you long for them, you want them, you obsess.
Even if you break up if you're the one who breaks up with them.
Yeah.
You're like, God damn.
I've done it.
I shouldn't
have done it. But it's like it was objectively the right call. You're like, I shouldn't have done it. And it's like, no, you should have.
We just like being a poet and a romantic.
Have you ever written poetry for a woman, Han?
No, I don't even understand that urge.
Dude, I think it's the funniest thing. I literally
I've been
think it's the
like,
funniest
I
thing.
need to write a shitty thing that doesn't make any sense down.
Some elementary level haiku. It's just some guy
It might
clapping out
rhyme, it
syllables.
might not rhyme, it might have a certain number of syllables, it might not. It's really whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
But
dude.
if you read a good poem, it's like, oh, that's how you, because then there's so much creative freedom that if someone does it right and they like tell a beautiful story through it, then it's like,
Yeah.
wow,
But that's not what you're doing over a breakup. You're not writing beautiful poetry. Yeah, I mean, very rarely does someone with no poetry experience pop out a,
I'm writing more metal songs and
You write metal
rock
songs?
anthems.
Well, yeah.
I gotta take it.
Just outside her window.
That's where they thrive when it's lyrically simple.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, songs are just poems, right?
yeah, shitty poems.
Yeah.
Sure.
My friend had a joke, Evan Bowen, I think his name was.
Shout out Evan.
He was like, rappers act like they're hard, but they're just writing poems. It's like, yeah, you shot a dude, but then you wrote a poem about how sad you were about it.
Yeah, I think it's so corny. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to be tough and doing an art form at the same time. That's why it's funny to see Drake and Kendrick go at it.
Beefing.
'Cause they're just like they're
There's
both
poets.
theater kids.
Yeah, that's what it is.
But one is just better at it than the other. Like if you're a theater kid and you're from the hood, then it's like so cool.
So cool.
It's like comedy, though, right? Like buff comics, like Jack fighting comics, you know?
Yeah.
You're just writing silly things.
It's been you ever like I can't think of one recently, but it's been forever since you ever like have two comedians like really get in a fight or like really like beef over something. I don't think there really is one going on. Oh
Ty Rivera.
no, I'm trying to. It's like a very specific style of beef too that I'm trying to think of.
Midnight.
Like when someone's like, "You're not even funny." It's like, "Well, you're not even funny," and then they're like, "Well, I'm funnier than you," and it's like, I mean, you're fighting over like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, you're not very. And it's like, what are we doing here, dude? Where it's like just too like it's always like open micers too.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a very like fun. I don't know. It's a very like specific genre of like scene beef that I don't think Austin has had recently.
I feel like it's more gendered. Like we're not complex enough to have more complicated drama than he likes her, but she likes him, and they don't get along.
Yeah.
And then he said he was gonna go out with her, but then he went out with him.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, I feel like there used to be a lot of scene beef in like Des Moines and Chicago, and there's not any in Austin.
Yeah, because everyone's just chill. Like people
Yeah.
are fucking here, but they're not like
Yeah,
making it a big deal or like
it's so
getting it
casual.
messy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When are we
People
gonna
here
get
are
messy,
really good at
Austin?
fucking.
You wanted to get messy? You want some drama in the scene?
No, I
People
don't.
know what
I
they
like
want
the no
here.
drama. It's really nice.
That's what I'm saying.
It's very chill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think it's all funny at the end
Dude,
of the
don't you
day.
think it's a sign of an infant comedy scene? We're just so happy and
How
naive.
crazy is that though? How rare is that in comedy? Like Austin is such a rarity in that sense of like, you know what I
Like a new scene.
No, it's
Like
like
young
absence
scene.
of drama.
yeah, the absence of like meaningful drama.
I'm sure it'll come. I don't know
What
about
about
old
Ty
Austin.
Rivera? I mean, everything's
a
so
big-
centered around comedy. Everyone has so much energy going into comedy and trying to make it. Like, if you can't make it here, you can't make it anywhere.
That's what I'm saying though. Is if there is any beef, it's all comedy related. It's like, well, they're getting booked more than they should, or they're getting this. There's nothing like outside of. It's always. That's the beauty of it. Is the beef is like all comedy.
Yeah,
If
it's
there's
just
any tension.
unrelented energy, like energy that has nowhere to go, like stifled energy.
Yeah, but it's all going towards comedy. There's no
Exactly.
Like,
But in
yeah.
other scenes, they have no outlet. There's
Yeah.
no ladder. There's
There's
a
no
low
upward mobility.
ceiling. So you're like, oh fuck, you panic. You're like, start scurrying to the side like a crab. You're like, I gotta take one of these fuckers down.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's always the like, I want to take this person down.
Yeah.
And instead of like your route being like, I'll just get better than them, it's like, I'm going to take them down by something dirty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Cheating. Being like, you're a
Cheating.
man and men are rapists and I
Yeah.
hate men.
Well, yeah, or like old fashioned canceling or something like that.
Yeah.
Like there's none of that in Austin. There's no like, well, we shouldn't book them because of this or
Well,
like,
I think Joe Rogan helps.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Because if you come at anyone with a bunch of bullshit rape accusations or some like, crazy
Yeah,
thing just because you want to start drama and you're like,
yeah,
I don't know.
that's really interesting.
Phrase
No,
going bad. But he's gonna like call you out like he has a megaphone.
Yeah.
You better come correct if you're gonna start accusing people of shit here.
yes, yeah, I think that's a good point. Is I don't want to talk
And
about him
also
too much.
comedy.
Is Tyra Bear still doing stand up? Bro, you've mentioned his name like 5 times,
You brought him up.
and I like the guy. I mean, I've no, I don't know. He was
Quite a
like,
close up.
what? Are you dating us?
Tyra Bear was great. What do you have to say about him?
Nothing. Oh, I didn't know if he was. I haven't seen him out in a while. That's all I was saying.
Tyra Bear burned a bridge and
For no reason.
is very foolish.
For no
and-
reason.
And I would not recommend young comics to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just be chill. Just do your jokes. Go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
That was
too
very
much.
calculated. You didn't even smoke any weed.
I know. Man.
That is Hans Kim. This is Hans Kim. Who's fucking? And we're all caught up in the cat.
Hell yeah.
Who's fucking who? You two
have a wife?
Anthony's in a relationship.
Whoa.
Marriage. What are you in? Singledom?
Prime single.
Single boy.
That's awesome, man. That's where we all want to be.
I feel like Austin's a good place to be single, right?
It depends on what your motives are.
I don't know. What are your motives?
It's very personal to be like, hey,
Yeah.
have a stance on singles. Like, how would he know? He just got here.
Yeah, I've been here for a minute now. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he's been here enough time to get
I
up
don't
close
know.
on
What do
it.
you
There's
think?
a lot of gorgeous women in Austin, and
That's true.
I think Austin's maybe a great city for casual dating, but I don't know.
Long term is
Are you a
rough.
serious dater?
If I can, but I haven't found anyone in Austin that like. There's been no good prospects, no meaningful prospects.
That doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad person, but it could.
Dude, I'll tell you a story. I probably shouldn't share this, but I don't care. I've been seeing her. We went on like I don't know 5 dates. We weren't exclusive or anything. She's like, you should come hang out with me at this bar tonight. And I'll be there in 10 minutes. She goes, perfect. She responds. I walk in at the bar. She's making out with another guy. This was literally not even a week ago. This was on Tuesday.
Nice.
I walk into the bar. She's making out with another guy, and she knows. She invited me over. She knows I'm gonna be there.
She's like, perfect. I'm gonna start making out for 10 minutes.
And they're just and it's like it's not just like well maybe it's not that. I was like no that's. And then they kept going, and I just like I snapped a photo of it and I sent it to her, and I was like I'm good, bye.
It's your
So that was a little PA.
What?
Passive aggressive.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, like, what else? Like, because I was sitting there like, watching them hang out, and I was like, do I go up and confront this guy? Do I confront her? And I was just like, I don't care enough.
testing and you failed, dude.
You know that. Watching her make out.
Explain
you
that.
See if get the real deal.
I was just like, I literally just started laughing. I was just like, okay. I was like, what is this?
Nah, you missed out
He's
on
like,
a real
write a
good girl.
joke about it, funny man.
She goes, am I gonna make it in one of your skits?
I think you probably missed out on a really cool girl, dude.
Yeah.
Did your wife ever
Bullshit.
pull that one?
You come home, keep fucking another dude.
That's how I won her over. I went over there and I beat the shit out of that guy.
No, that's so cool.
Hey.
She does it once a week. She's always
Keep me on my toes.
She's always making out with all these other
Keep things
guys.
fresh.
That's horrible, man. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Traumatic.
No, it wasn't traumatic. I wasn't even mad. Like I skipped. I just started laughing. I was like, "What a weird thing to happen." And then I was
That's
just
pretty
like,
strange.
"But the crazy part, I sent a photo of it to her, and then she was like, "That literally didn't happen." And I was like, "That's you." And she's like, "That's literally not me." And I was like, "You sent me a photo of your outfit before you went out tonight."
Yeah.
Like, it is you.
So you try to fuck a whore and she did some whore shit.
Well, I didn't know. To my defense, though, I didn't know she was a whore.
Were there any warning signs of whoredom?
Septum piercing.
Is this a person that we would know or
No,
hangs
no,
out?
no, nothing, no activity at all in the comedy.
That's kind of shitty, man. I
But
would
know
never
it's
invite a
everything
girl
out of the
over.
comedy community right now.
But I understand, like, what if she's like, just like, I'm a single, I can say whoever I want.
Well,
And
that's what I
then,
said. I was like, we're not even exclusive. Like, we haven't had an exclusive talk, so like, I was just like, and she was like, "You're making this up," and I was like, "No, like, we're good. I just probably don't like. You're probably just not the type for me, is all."
It'd be funny if she saw you and she's like, my 5 o'clock is here.
She was like, "You came too early for your shit."
we'll pick this up next week at the same spot.
Yeah. And she was so mad. She was like mad at me. She was like, "You're making this all up," and I was like, "I'm not." We went on for like an hour, and I was like,
Damn.
"Stop!" I'd just be like, "Stop texting."
It'd be crazy if she convinced you. You're like, maybe I was seeing shit.
She was like, "He was 4 years. I would never do that with a 4-year-old." And I was like, "I don't care." I was like,
That's just like hygienically, you got to be more better about dating because, like,
"I don't want to talk about her hygiene." No,
it's
no.
just like you gotta be smart. I mean, you can fuck around
Right.
on other people, but
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can't make awkward situations unless you're into that. Some people really get into that stuff, like
Yeah.
meeting the person that someone else is fucking.
Maybe she wants a cuckolding thing, and she's just like, "I got to keep trying to set this guy up for it." She's like,
One of these days it's gonna work.
"I want a guy who's into being cuckolded." So, Chad, I hope that answers your question on who's fucking.
Who's fucking? Not Nat.
Not me, not right now, not anymore.
Nate is on a date with this fucking.
Well, yeah. Well, this lady probably is. She's probably out and about. I just remember
So what do you
walking
think
in.
it is? Do you think it's like just pure incompetence and laziness, or do you think it's like some weird kink sexual thing, or do you think it's evil? Like she wants to make you suffer.
I think it's just incompetence. I think it's like I think she's a very attractive woman, and she's probably like. I mean, this is all like really like vain skepticism, but like this probably just doesn't have just never had to really think of the consequences for people have probably like never held her accountable because she was gorgeous.
That
She
should have
was a
been
gorgeous
you.
lady.
You should have held her accountable.
I did, but I'm not as a
You
result.
sent her a Snapchat, pussy.
What are they supposed to do?
What the? What you should have been accountable? What is
You should have confronted her in that bar.
The young lady.
I
It's
know.
highly inappropriate behavior.
The nature of all relations, this really.
We'll send you a strongly worded email and leave a review on your LinkedIn.
Contact HR. I should have walked over and like, "Hey, this disappoints me greatly." Should have
That would have
like,
been something.
okay.
You should have fucking, made a scene at the bar. Ladies and gentlemen.
I thought about turning around to the nearest girl next to me and being like, "Hey, that's the girl I've been seeing. You want to make out?" Like, I thought about saying that to a girl.
Yeah, she introduced the makeout into the date. Now you're free to
I'm free to do whatever.
subject.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Matt Banwart's Guide to Dating is not a good book to read. I think I've got nothing but
Funny book.
It's a funny. Yeah, it's not. It won't get you laid, but women will call you funny afterwards. So, Hans, what's your trick? What's your
Women tricks?
Yeah, keep pleading.
Why would you say that?
You said you're trying to get your ex back. You said it, not me.
I'm not trying to get my ex
You guys
back.
are always like breaking up and getting back together, though, right? Or is that
Is that private? You wanna-
We're always doing that. So yeah, that makes me feel better. Thanks for reminding me.
Being single's no better, dude. Being single's awful.
Yeah, I heard.
I mean, it's been a lot of that. It's been a lot of like, I'll meet. I mean, twice I've met a woman, and they've used me to get. They'll be like, "Can you introduce me to so and so?" I'm not gonna name any names here. And then they'll hook up with another comic who's like a little further along.
There's a lot of
Climbing that
people
wall.
fucking comics here.
Oh, well, I know.
Like Mike Eaton.
Oh, really?
Mike Eaton is fucking everybody.
No, I shouldn't say that on the pod.
No, why is that a bad thing?
Good for him, I guess.
He's spreading love
Eaton's
in
Eaton.
You're right.
Austin City.
Let the boy
Good for him, I guess.
Yeah, he's so horny, man.
I love
guy
that
is
for him.
crazy.
I keep it contained. I like to believe. I try to keep it one person at a time. Like a
Yeah, I've never seen you with
monogamous?
a lady out or about. Yeah.
well,
Yeah, you really need to work on that, man.
taking it.
You're embarrassing
If
us.
that's your image you're going for, you're doing a great job.
Not dating.
single guy.
I'm a single guy.
Always
My
alone.
jokes. This relationship would ruin my comedy. It's all. I don't know. I'm not keeping my dates near the comedy clubs. I think that's a thing.
That's fair.
I think it's weird
When guys bring chicks around.
when comedians bring dates.
Okay, so when you have a girlfriend,
That-
would you bring her to? What would you do? Would you
Girlfriend
want to have her everywhere, like Brian
Girlfriend's
Redband and Janice,
Girlfriend's different. I think girlfriend
Or-
relationships are different.
Sam Prickett and Cassidy?
Sure, yeah, but they work in the same industry. I think those dynamics are different. I'm
Isn't
not.
that awesome though? Like if
It's sick.
your girlfriend is like in the same social circle as you.
Makes it easier, I think, right?
It makes breakups terrible.
Probably. Yeah.
I've had that happen where you break up
Yeah,
with
but you
someone and they're in
don't
the
you don't
same.
have a relationship planning for the breakup.
And beautifully said, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay, that's a risk, I guess.
I wonder what the chat have to say about this.
I know, just look it up on
overstimulation
YouTube.
advice in the chat.
Look it up on YouTube.
Oh, should I pull it up on my phone?
Yeah,
That's
if
a
you
good
want to
idea.
read it.
But no,
It's not a good idea to read
I'm
it.
just saying. I had it happen. I broke up with a girl, and she was in the friend group.
That's pretty immediate.
That's pretty good.
Who's my gay friend? He says.
I'm straight, dude. Come on now.
Hey, man, for once I know it's not me they're talking about in that chat.
What were we talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, like a girlfriend in the scene. You like to have dates outside of wherever you are,
Yeah.
whatever community. You don't want to sully the social waters.
Well, yes, exactly. I keep it out. I keep out of that community now. I used to. When I was
Your
younger.
Instagram handle in the chat, maybe.
Ladies. There you go. I'm gonna drop it.
Well, I think it's great that you're single because that's honest.
I'm glad you're
Matt,
happy
you
for me.
You could be hooked up with some like random like 4 or 3 just to be happy and just making yourself miserable
Yeah.
just so you can get your dick sucked on the regular. It's not worth
That's
it.
a military move. It happens very often in the military.
Yes.
Guys will get married just because if you get married, you get housing money and then you can live off
You
base.
can have babies and
Yeah, babies.
create little monsters
That you did?
ruin
Nah,
Pakistan.
love.
Waited love. I love my wife.
I love that for
You
you.
did a love marriage?
Love man. Pretty rare.
Those are good, rare in your
Pretty rare.
for your skin color and
Yeah.
mustache.
I'm marrying for money. I'm looking for money. So my end bio is just looking for money. I don't know.
The funny man looking for money.
That's nice, dude. Yeah, military marriages, I think. I've had numerous friends get in those.
Just like a fat chick, or just like a.
Your words, not mine.
I didn't say anything crazy.
No,
Like, they'll date like a woman that they're not really attracted to, just so they can have some freedom.
Yo, yeah.
And then
Well,
ends up
they're
back-
desperate and sad, and they
Yeah.
might die. And they're like, "Hey,
There's like monetary
my dick
perks.
sucked."
There's monetary perks for the women.
Yes.
And then for the guys, they get to live off base. And
Which
most
is-
of these guys, they join the military and they're like, I should be getting more pussy. And they don't. And so they're
Yeah,
just
because you're around dudes all the time.
yeah, you're just around dudes. You're talking about
Yeah.
retarded shit. So you're not really a catch. You're not like a
That's fair.
Jack Reacher. You know what I'm saying?
You're hard to find. You're always in camo.
You're hard to find.
That's a weird type of girl those guys get.
Yeah, it is. I wonder what the sell is as a woman, where you're like, I'm just here so he can live where he wants. Like that can't feel great to be like proposition being like, hey babe, I've looked around. You're not doing that well. I could get an extra 40K a year if you just fucking married me.
It's job security, healthcare, and then they can do their
It's
essential
the
oil
American
business.
way of life. They signed up for the safe path.
That would be
in some
so
way,
funny.
dangerous in others.
No, that'd be so funny if like border patrol men were all dating like women for perks, but they were all like foreign women, so it was all a bunch of green card marriages. And so as a result, by hiring more border patrol, they all just kept getting in more and more green card marriages, perpetuating the cycle of like bringing more and more immigrants over as a result. And they're like, how are all these immigrant ladies getting here? And they just keep hiring more and more.
No.
That's funny in my head.
It's like a circular loop.
The idea of like, yeah, it's like, well, how are these like how are these? I don't know. Foreign
How are
people getting here?
these? Well, it's like how many of them would have to fuck foreign people. It's like the scale of it would have to be significant.
Well, if you're border patrol, I mean, you're hanging around the area quite a
You're
bit.
just picking up
How many
baddies.
border patrol? There's like 10,000.
You get you a hot late. Like here's the thing, right? Border patrol, like you sign up, because you're racist or
Wait,
whatever.
how much?
And-
You'd have to fuck so many to make a difference.
But if,
To make a
if
dip.
everybody's putting one,
ratio.
1-1.
Dip. Simple.
Because here's the thing. At first, you're like, I'm a border patrol. I don't like those, Mexicans running over here. And then one day you see a really gorgeous lady, and she's like, please, no, wait, I'll marry you. And you're like, whoa, hey. And then you quit, and now she's got a green card, and you have to hire another guy.
And then you're like, why are there so many people coming over? Because everyone's getting married. This guy has like 17,000 wives.
Yeah. You're in Utah. I mean, it's just the cycle's perpetuating, dude.
What if you could have like an army of women?
Like a
Would that even be fun or useful, or would that just be annoying? Like a regiment.
You think, when you want an army of all women? Because we're about to change the rules of the draft in America, and it's going to be really fun.
It would be
Like,
cool.
that's so many that it's not even worth it.
I mean, imagine they're storming Normandy Beach, and they're like, this is a perfect selfie location. They're like, it's like a beach selfie, but it's all their dead friends are in the background.
Oh my God. I'm just thinking about like having like 3 women is great, but having like 27 is like,
No, dude.
so when is it like too many
For it's like for a unit, or like what do
for
you
a man?
Oh,
Just for you.
a man to have?
You can make, I want to do military unit. I want to do how many women?
How many battalions of women
How many-
would you want in your life, ideally, if you could pick as many women as you want?
In my life,
Yeah.
I think
I'm changing you the answer, Anthony.
Yeah.
You're married? I'm telling you right now.
one is good. I'm good with one.
But if you're
But you're-
saying
honest
for a
answer.
friend, saying for Matt,
Yeah,
You're-
yeah,
you're
project
saying
on
Matt.
me.
If I was mad, I think 3 would be good to try.
you think 3?
Yeah, it's a good rotation. You're with one, spend a few days with
Do
her.
they all live together, or are they in separate locations?
I think you can only do it if you have a lot of money and you can separate them. I think it's a rich man's game to have multiple.
Yeah.
women,
Yeah, I could not. My current bank account situation, I need, because here's the thing, I gotta save up, like I gotta like bank goodwill with one lady. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right now it's hard to get more than one.
Yeah, financially, I just don't.
Well, don't some women pay for themselves?
Hans, no, not
What
at
are you
all.
talking about?
A woman that pays for herself?
The only kind of girls you can get are girls that have their own job and
Oh,
they're not looking at you for sugar daddiness.
I mean, they see the potential of my thriving comedy future.
Well, you're also a very handsome man. I
Oh,
mean,
come on now.
and you got a physically imposing body. It looks like you can
Yeah,
protect
but I
her.
do very little with it, Hans. We played basketball together. You've seen me.
I know, but that's a game. Like in a defensive situation, it might help.
You,
You know,
you
so
think you're a
women.
good fighter?
I don't like this
ever been in a
fixation on my. Yeah,
You're the one that brought it up.
This blonde at a bar is just making out with another guy.
You're the one with the ridiculous border policy.
I know it's not like a refined bit. I'm open micing it on the spot, but the idea of like border patrol agents keep marrying the women that are running over, I think is
How?
seems
Why?
really funny.
What was the result of all this marriage? Like nothing's gonna happen.
It's a conceptual. It's like
So this border patrol guy has like a bunch of Latina wives, and you go to his house, and it's just.
it'd be funny if it was like counterproductive. But never mind. This bit's not working.
I think my idea of how many women is too much.
Yeah, what's
is
your number?
Funny. My number?
Yeah.
If I was purely like going psycho mode,
Yeah.
like a serpent,
You-
just purely for the sex.
Pure freak.
Yeah, I would say I could
The
handle.
lust of a man.
I think I could handle sexually like once a week, like per girl, like 60.
60?
60?
Yeah, if you're just going pure, just like fuck in and out.
Let's go.
Just I want this kind of girl now and that kind of girl. Let me a fucking black girl.
Thought about this. 60 is a really particular number.
Whenever you're horny, you're just like calling to this hotline and then they
Yeah.
come over.
That's really nice.
You'll have to be on some sort of crazy performance enhancing stuff.
This podcast
I don't
brought
think
to you by
naturally
Blue
would-
Chew.
You don't think you could come twice a day?
I can come twice a day.
Yeah, you're just doing that with a girl now.
That's a good point.
That adds up to 60 women.
Well, no, because
Well, yeah, I mean,
you want reserve. Hans
yeah,
wants
I
reserve
want
for
all
you.
types of
You're
girls.
not finishing with everyone then.
Huh?
You're just like going.
I'm
Finishing.
no, I don't have to finish. You know, sometimes you just want to like grab someone's butt.
Just a casual. I'm cooking breakfast. Can you come by so I can grab ass?
I just want to close down 6th Street one day and just have only girls, and I just get to pick and be like that one. Just go around slapping ass and
Just slap it up.
I think you get bored. I think you get bored of it eventually.
yeah, obviously. But when you're in that mode, when you're Conor McGregor,
Hypothetical. What replaces the void of 60? Like, you know what I mean? To be like, yeah, I got bored of 60 women. Now I do this instead.
Now I watch Baby Gronk. I'm addicted to Baby Gronk.
now that's Melissa. She's in social services.
Yeah. I used to have a harem of 60 women, but now I kayak on weekends. It's like you can't downgrade from that. There's no being like, yeah, I just got really into martial arts.
I think you have to downgrade. I don't think it's sustainable.
Well, yeah, there's no way to. I mean, there's nothing more extreme than having 60 women in your life. You can't be. I mean, I don't know what is a more extreme trade-off.
I don't know.
You'd have to be a UFC fighter.
Yeah, you'd have to be.
You'd have to go to the. You'd have to just go gay. All right, I've done everything I can in this gender.
Just have to- I've
There's only so much more I can do on a vagina. I gotta
first
do a lateral move.
sexuality.
Yeah.
Time to move on to the next level. Time to move from 6th Street to 4th Street. Time to
It's like
across town.
it's like when Joe Rogan went from Fear Factor to the
UFC.
podcast.
Oh yeah,
It's like just gotta take it to the next level.
yeah, dude.
I
You
did
the freakiest
I
thing
did
ever.
the
He hosted
news
Fear
radio.
Factor. You did news radio?
I did. No, I was saying something important.
Say it.
He was like, I was doing the news radio of women, just fucking titties, 120 titties.
Yeah.
And then you go to something even better, dicks. And that's Joe Rogan Experience.
Oh. Yeah, it makes sense.
Just like 5. How many men do you think you can
Yeah, it's
handle?
metaphor
If you're
checked out.
gay,
Just
if you're gay, how many men
Are you a top or a
would you
bottom?
want? Top.
I've listened to enough of some of This Is Bad to know that all gay men cheat, apparently.
It's easier.
Really?
Because like I know gay dudes that are married and they very publicly cheat.
If you could fuck a girl just by like looking at them at the airport,
Hypothetically?
you'd cheat so much more.
Yeah. Are you saying that gay people do that? They can just
I'm
fuck-
saying straight men are better people because we don't
Because it's
put
harder to
ourselves
be.
in-
It's harder to be good pussy.
It makes us more pious.
So it is Pride Month, and quote Hans Kim, straight men are better people. I sure hope I don't get SNL someday, because this is going to be the podcast that gets me off that show.
That's
That's true.
That's why the church hates gays, because they're cheating.
Because they're whores.
People, it's harder for us. It's like people
But
who live in the
some
north.
of us turn angry. Some of that anger sometimes is
Yeah.
too much.
Well, I'm not in school anymore, so I'm good.
I just think that women are just in like a frantic state right now. I hope this isn't their final evolution. I hope they keep progressing because
I'm
now.
glad the world can hear our opinions on women. Surely, guys, this is the think tank that's going to solve it all for the Austin dating market.
I think women are a victim of capitalism and wealth inequality and a lack of social services because they're more vulnerable to the elements. Because there's a birth control and they have
okay.
like their body's always trying to kill them because they get more lupus and
Yes.
immune diseases and
Sure.
it's just harder because capitalism was set up for men and they're trying to pour it into it. So yeah, I think they're suffering economically and financially, and they're trying to express themselves sexually, their frustration at our economy. And,
Wow.
why don't you just vote for Bernie Sanders and get off my dick?
Are you a Bernie bro?
Obviously, like,
That's fun as fuck, dude. Is he can't he's not gonna make it another 4 years, is he?
Bernie Sanders?
Who's gonna replace him? Who's gonna be the guy who replaces him? Because he's got to be training the next generation.
The guy that's
I'm
going to
so out of
replace Bernie
politics.
Sanders is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I knew it was gonna be AOC.
She's going to be as old as Nancy Reagan, whatever her name is. Nancy
Is she
Pelosi.
gonna run for president?
AOC?
They all do. They all play with the idea of it.
Yeah, they're just biding their time.
This is gonna be fun. You should run. Michael Che's running for president. You just see that?
No.
He just said it on late night. He had a very good late night set. I'm a really big Michael Che fan.
It happened recently?
This week.
Wow, that's so recent.
I have been watching a lot of late night sets recently. I think it's the highest form of art.
Late night, yeah. Who's your guy?
I just late night stand up, just like the 5 to 6 minute sets that everyone does. I've been
Who
watching
had a good
those.
one
I hate
recently?
it.
Michael Che.
On what show? On the Tonight Show?
Late night
Fallon.
with
Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon. That's the Tonight Show.
Yeah.
You don't even know what it's called.
I don't. I'm a
Big
I'm
late
a
night
big
guy, huh?
fan.
Fucking liar.
I know it's the Tonight Show. I get their names mixed up. Yeah, the Tonight
Late
Show.
at night.
Yeah,
It
all the same.
happens.
Nick at Night.
Comedy.
You guys watch Nick at Night? Back in the day?
You watch Nick at Night?
I used to watch Nick at Night, of course.
No, I didn't really like Nick at Night. I could sense the creepy foot pedophilia vibes from
You
it.
knew. You knew.
Yeah, I know.
You could fit sense.
You're sitting there in Seattle being like, I don't like this Dan Snyder character
Yeah.
at like 12 years old.
I think
It's
it makes
too zany.
I think you need that kind of abuse in the film industry to make good.
Yeah.
Like I think it's sad, obviously, but I also think like if through adversity, you find a lot of gold.
You know who doesn't have a sex abuse scandal is the fashion model industry.
Oh, but you know that's the worst, right? I mean, it has to be. Fashion models?
There's probably something.
Do you think they're just bad at outing it out because they're retarded? Because they're human horses?
Not my words. But
Not
yes.
my words either. Let the
Do you
chat.
think they're all these beautiful fashion models are getting molested right now?
I don't think all of them.
Historically been. I mean, no, the whole industry is like you don't talk, you just walk, and you're literally just physical. It's for physical observation, physical play. I mean, you know what I mean? It's observational. Yeah, it's not like models are rarely picked up for their rhetoric.
Yeah, but it's like, why hasn't there been a big scandal? Why don't we know about some of the big creepers?
I'm going to go on a limb here and say someone who has a negative waistline probably doesn't put a lot of thought into what they say, historically speaking.
So you think they're just not good at expressing it? They're like, I got molested, but I'm not going to tell anyone.
Well, isn't that that Victoria's Secret's guy big with he was big with Epstein, Lex Wexner?
Thank God.
That,
There it is. I knew it. Yeah. No, probably. That's probably what it is.
I'm sure there's something.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just saying there's been no giant scandal like there is with comedy or Harvey Weinstein.
I think it's just expected. I think it's all just like so expected in the modeling space. I think we all just like, I'm sure there's been.
Like if something happened, would you be like, "Whoa, really?"
The guys that were scouting models were taking
Right.
sexual favors for millions of dollar modeling jobs.
Yeah,
That's insane. We would all be like, well, of course.
yeah.
Like I literally don't think it'd make the news. I think it'd be like, hey, the thing you think's happening for deciding Victoria's Secret models is happening, and we'd all be like, yep.
I think it's like the military. You become a model, you just accept like, "Hey, man, it's a dangerous job. I might get hurt," and we just let that be.
Well,
But you might take a few shots on the back.
poor models. I think that maybe there isn't a lot of molesting going on in the modeling world.
You don't think
It'd be
that?
funny if it was the
Yeah.
most wholesome one.
Yeah, what if they're just chilling because they're just so used to beauty, it's not a big deal anymore.
Could be. I don't know. I mean,
They're just so it's like actually like it's gotten to the point of like so vapid where it's like actually like very like tasteful.
it's just healthy.
Well, I think it's like yeah.
Everyone has healthy boundaries, and
There's no way. There's no way. Yeah, it's all just they get together like we're all just the most attractive people in the world. If only we didn't ever have sex.
let's just all be responsible about this thing, you know?
Because that's what it is. Modeling is
Okay,
this.
like Heidi Klum, or
You're right.
what?
I'm
If
sure.
anyone molested her up along the way, I'm sure she would have called it out.
Or maybe she wouldn't because she still works for NBC. And they probably are like an executive now.
Maybe, or maybe the wrong person molested her, and
Yeah, I don't know.
she could have called him out, and she didn't because she didn't get molested.
I shouldn't be talking here. I'm really setting myself back.
Or maybe like the people who get molested, they just don't rise to the top in the modeling industry. You know, like maybe the top. I don't know. I don't want
Maybe,
to.
maybe
at least they can do that.
rising as a
At least they
result
don't
of
molest
their
the good
compromised
one.
career. Yeah, at least it's not the good one.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I hope someday my kids watch this podcast.
That's my dad. He got stood up at a bar, and all he did was Snapchat about it.
Well, it was a text. Okay, I sent
My
an
bad.
SMS. Yeah, I
Okay,
texted that
well,
photo to her.
what were we talking about before the modeling stuff?
I don't know, but it was good. Oh, the number of women.
Number of women.
Oh, we never answered the
Number
ideal,
of dudes?
the ideal, no, the ideal women battalion.
It would be fun to see a whole battalion of women just driving tanks and flying helicopters into battle,
It's a feminist,
just to see.
just to see it.
They're driving 20 miles slower than a man would.
Damn it, Hans. We almost kept it wholesome. I think that bit made it like 5 seconds before it got tainted.
So you think really women are just so getting molested all the time? They're raped.
I don't think that.
Dear Lord. No, I'm just saying that there's
Well, if their life
probably-
is so hard,
not
then
saying
why do men kill themselves more than women?
Yeah, chat. Answer us that, huh? What's the hardest part about being a man?
Being a man is so tough nowadays.
Tell
With
us.
cancel culture.
I think it's I think it's hard to be a man during an economic crisis. Not that we're currently going through one.
I mean,
But
yeah,
I
a
think
lot
it's
of a man's
particular-
self-worth is in his money and
How he can
society
provide.
standing.
It's particularly difficult.
And now we're just Uber drivers and whatever.
Well, that's what I've always resorted to in my retired.
Content creators. Imagine
That's
men used to be like hunters and gatherers, and then there's a lady out there married to a content creator. He just opens up. I mean, we're kind of content.
He
creators,
just
right?
creates little tidbits that
Yeah.
stimulate dumb people's brains. What are you looking at?
Someone just commented something funny.
What do they say?
Someone said, should I molest stay or should I go now?
Oh, that was Yonder.
Oh, that was Yonder.
Love you, Yonder.
That was Yonder.
Love you,
read
Yonder.
Too little.
Shout out Yonder.
But yeah, I mean, what were you saying, Anthony?
I was just saying it's just funny that men are fucking pussies now. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, content creators.
men were
Content. There's women out there dating guys who like just work on a computer all day. You know what I mean?
Couldn't be me. Yeah, we're comedians. We're real masculine.
Hey man, I did my time in the service, dude. You guys are pussies.
we're the best. I grew up detasseling cornfields.
Detasseling corn. What does that mean?
It's and roguing cornfields, and I used to
Rogue.
I used to do trail maintenance in the woods.
Isn't it crazy that we have every type of food just made out of corn because it's just we can mass produce it
Yeah.
and just squirt it out.
I think it is. Yeah, when you think of like the mass like acceptance of like corn syrup, it is bizarre. Also, like we got so good with like making corn, we're like, can we make fuel out of this? And now ethanol's a thing.
Yeah.
Like we just had like we could just make so much corn. We're like, well, what if we made gasoline out of corn?
Mm-hmm.
And they did it. They just found it.
It's just such a funny thing to just base your society on corn because
Hey, I'm from Iowa,
it's
so
cheaper.
we're way
And
up.
you're just like a fucking corn society.
We love that. I love good corn societies.
What are the bad things about corn?
As an Iowan, I have
It's
family.
Not very like one disease can wipe out your whole society.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's not good to have a monoculture.
It's like when like what like a year ago there was this terrible chicken shortage and the cost of like chicken wings everywhere like doubled because like one of the 3 egg manufacturers had like chickens with flus and the 2 major farms had avian flu and it just like ruined
Yeah.
because there's so few like chicken farms nowadays. It's not like the 70s where like you had as someone whose family was directly impacted by this, the era of like having like a dozen family farms is now replaced by like one factory farm. So like small towns died out nationwide because of it.
That's horrible.
Straight tragic.
So yeah, I mean, we don't have a resilient economy. It's just threadbare because we're trying to maximize profit. It's so streamlined to the point of
Yeah,
fragility.
that is the perk of a family farm. Is like you're not all reliant on like 5 corporations. For chickens, you're reliant on like
The sun and the moon.
yeah, well, like 200 farmers instead of Tyson and
Yeah, it's really horrible that we started just cannibalizing ourselves and creating this gross and sick society because
well, it's kept
sort of deserved to because of what we did to other people. But
Is there any country that gets it right with like farming and agriculture?
Japan probably.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
they import a lot though. They have to import most of their like produce just because they lack a lot of land.
Yeah.
Australia.
Who's
Oh.
who's 100% reliant? Like California? Or I guess that's America.
In
Switzerland, maybe, or Norway.
I think a lot of like Mediterranean places are because they have heavy fish diets, and so I think when you live off the ocean like that, and like wheat is like a really resilient crop. You can grow wheat like you can only harvest corn once a year. You can harvest wheat twice a year.
It's probably a country we don't even expect.
Probably
They
Italy.
like
Maybe.
they're producing their own shit.
Italy, because it's a lot of small batch like artisanal cheese. It's not meant to be mass produced.
Hmm.
Italy, dude. That's where.
You think so?
I think
In
Italy's
an
the-
apocalypse.
Any Mediterranean country.
They got decimated during COVID, didn't they? Or supposed?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
Because they
never
all
mind
live
that.
next to each other.
Really?
Yeah, in Italy. The grandmas were getting sick.
Really? The nanas.
The nonas.
The nonas. The nonas and the gnocchi.
No sauce on a Sunday.
No.
No more sauce.
Bone marrow.
Mm.
Yeah, COVID. What a disease.
What a hell of a disease.
A hell of a time. What time to be
What do you think
alive.
about the science of epidemiology?
I don't know, dude. I think Bill Gates knows it all.
It's beyond my scope.
Yonder in the chat says Sweden. Sweden, no, they seem vulnerable because of Russia. That's a good point too.
So yeah, we were saying like America is like so
I think America does a good job.
profitable that it's like fragile.
I think 70s America did food production really well. Correct me if I'm wrong.
70s? Before everything became like super processed and all this shit, you think?
Yeah, I would probably say
Before
like
Reagan.
60s, 70s. Yeah, is what I'm trying to say. That's when my dad's side lost the family farm.
Yikes. Embarrassing.
I know, dude.
They literally lost the farm.
They literally lost. Then my grandpa just had the groundskeeper at the local golf course.
Embarrassing.
Right.
It's humbling.
Would you ever get
Well-
back into farming?
You can't. You're just like no way. Like
Like, would you ever just go work for a factory?
no, my dad wants to. Like my family wants. Like if you would ask my
I was
dad.
just kidding.
If
Yeah,
you-
let's-
Very embarrassing.
no, it is embarrassing, dude. Yeah, my grandpa's not going to listen to this podcast. He just
Thank
listens
God.
to Tucker Carlson all day.
Oh, okay. Then I don't care.
It makes him. He hates the world because he goes, I hate everything. So he doesn't interact with people.
That's
They're just- He goes, everyone's trans nowadays, aren't they? And I'm like, oh God.
That's not going to help you get your farm back. Talk like that gets you sent to the camps, Grandpa.
Oh no. No, he lost it like over 40 years ago. I don't think.
Well, farming is a thing, and it's a threadbare economy because we're just trying to maximize profits for no reason.
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of opinions on farming. I could really ruin this whole thing.
Yeah, nobody does it for the love of the game anymore. Yeah.
No, almost exclusively they do it for the farmers lose money all the. They'll lose millions of dollars in a season.
Well, I think it's time to actually run a country properly instead of just trying to run it based on overarching ideas and feelings.
And so, what do you think? What do you think it involves?
Like SimCity, like whoever's the best at SimCity Farm Edition, you get to run the agriculture now.
You get to try. You get like a couple years,
Yeah.
put some policies in place.
You just ever play the like it was like one of those like online flash games. It was like the McDonald's one. You had to try to like manage your own McDonald's, and it was like difficulty level insane. No,
McDonald's.
I don't know. I don't know.
Imagine if you try to make a McDonald's right now.
That would be, dude. We need to just get some autistic guy from City out here.
Would it be cool to have a comics-owned fast food joint, and we could just hang out there and make
That'd be
it
cool.
like a comedian spot, like a 1950s diner. We could drink milkshakes there.
French fries.
Uncle
milkshake.
Laser farms everything. It's all farm to table, but it's just I don't know. Uncle Laser's the one who would run the farm, by the way. Him and Dean Stanfield.
Open micers work on the farm.
For migrant labor.
That's a large labor pool that we're not utilizing.
That's a great point. And they have time during the day.
They're just getting stinky and gross.
You don't have to lodge them. They all live out of their vans.
Ah.
You know about that.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing that. It's a dangerous place to live in your van.
Austin?
Yeah.
Anywheres.
Well, in terms of heat, like you can just die just
Gets
in the
people hot.
car. At least like in like fucking whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the cold isn't good either. Unless you're in California, it's really not a great time to.
Yeah.
There's not a great place to go.
What was the toughest place you had to like live out of your van?
Well, I lived in New York for 3 years in a van, and I started during the winter.
So like it was snowing when you did it? When you
was
started?
snowy.
Damn.
What
I
did you
peed
do?
in a plastic bag and I threw it under the car.
Really? That's fun.
Yeah, I threw it under the car and then woke up and it froze. So I had like a frozen disc of pee and I threw it in a garbage. And one time I did that, some lady saw me. She was like, "Is this?" Yeah, I was like, "Oh shit, I'm just carrying a bag of pee. It's clear, it's see-through."
Get over this, sweetheart. What are we doing?
Like, I'm carrying pee and
You start
going to
using
work.
Start using black bags.
Were you working during that? What
Yeah,
work were you
think
doing in the
so.
band?
I was doing like fucking like the plans, like drawing the blueprint for buildings to be like, hey, this is what we want to build.
Do you have a background in architecture?
Yes, I have a mechanical engineering Bachelor of Science.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Where at? Where do you
Thank
go?
you. Georgia Tech.
Oh, go
Yellow
Hornets? Yellow Jackets.
Jackets.
Damn it.
Sting 'em,
Stay up.
we would say.
Atlanta's a beautiful city.
Yeah.
Anyway.
ATL, where the players play. And we hang on them things like every day. Big beats,
Dude.
hit streaks, see gangsters roaming.
In
And
Atlanta,
parties don't.
every street is named Peachtree.
Peachtree?
It's so there's like Peachtree Street, Peachtree Road, Peachtree Boulevard, Peachtree Avenue, Peachtree
Tree West.
West, There's like a million peach trees. No, dude, I literally there's Peach Space Tree.
That's such a confusing way to name your city streets because city streets should be distinct from each other.
Yes.
If they're too similar, you don't know.
You get
You
lost.
confuse them.
But I swear, I mean, I was in Atlanta. I swear to God, everyone was like, "Oh no, you're on the wrong peach tree," and I was like, "What the hell? Like, what are we doing here?"
Yeah, what kind of hodunk? Sherman really fucked that place up when he marched to the sea.
Amen, brother.
They got kooky. They were like, why don't we try to respect our beautiful tree with our city planning?
Yeah.
The tree will really respect that.
One of my best friends from college, she's a city planner in Atlanta. It's like her full-time job.
Well, tell her she sucks.
As Madeline, you suck.
They could change the street names, right? So that
Can
hard.
you at this point?
No, yeah, I think it's history and maps and
Keep a couple of them.
The combination of history and maps
You
really
have to do a
paints us
you
in
have
a
to-
corner.
You have to rename it. It has to be something that's like so populous. You can't just fuck around with renaming Peachtree.
Or you could just do it like New York does it and say, hey, this is First Street. And that one over there, that's Second Street.
That's what we should all do.
That's a great. I mean, it works.
It-
This
Easy.
is First Avenue.
Yeah, instead of these silly names.
Yeah. Fuck your peach tree.
Yeah.
We're doing math, bitch.
Yeah, and Austin does that. Austin's got 6th Street, and then it's like 6th Street and like
Sixth Street.
and like Cesar Chavez.
We grow attachments to these numbers and symbols.
I like,
Yeah.
but okay,
Our identity.
I don't know.
What time do you normally sleep?
I go to bed usually like midnight.
He's past his.
Do you have a job?
Yeah, I work in a podcast studio.
Ooh,
So this is
comedian
familiar.
podcast studio or
What's that?
comedian one or
It's just like a generic podcast studio where you can just rent out time.
I
Is
just
that the one at the Black Rabbit?
No, it's on Fifth and Bushy, right by the Whole Foods.
Nice.
Damn.
A lot
What
of,
kind
like,
of
health and
podcasts do you think we could do there?
People do whatever. There's like fitness influencers.
I just saw one of those on like Instagram today. I just like got down the rabbit hole and I was like, oh, they're in Austin.
Yeah. It's
We
probably
should
What other
rent out a place.
like a podcast studio.
Yeah.
Own one?
And just find a good price and be like, okay, that's what a podcast costs.
Yeah.
Instead, I built this whole stupid thing.
In your house.
Yeah.
Kind of nice.
It's not bad. It's your thing. It's your spot.
You own
Yeah.
it.
You can do it
proprietary.
whenever. You don't have to go on it. Look at us. We're at fucking $12.49.
I don't have to book a time or anything. Matt was like, it's perfect. I was going to go out anyways.
Yeah.
No, you weren't.
No.
I put on, I'm not even joking.
Where
I've
were you
been
gonna
home
go?
all day. I put on my clothes and then I was like, at like, I don't know, like 11 o'clock, put on my clothes and I was like, I don't even want to go out. But I changed. And then you're like, do you want to come over and do this? And I was like,
That's a
just
good
put
middle
on my
ground
clothes.
between going out and staying in. Because this is sort of in, but it's sort of out.
Kind of in and out. Yeah.
And now we're in it.
I love in and out.
Me too.
What are your thoughts on Whataburger?
I don't like
It's
it.
garbage.
Same. Thank God.
Straight garbage.
I think it's
Thank
good
God.
though.
I'm in the company of
I
men
like
who have the
eating it.
ability to see
It's like
through.
eating patty melt.
God, I've never had that. But okay, you're not
You
judging
need
a
to know
burger
what to
place
order.
by
You need to
its
go
patty
to
melt.
Texan.
Every time I've been there, it's been slow. It's been like slow, and the food's never
Well,
been good.
sometimes it's the only thing open late at night, which is why people grow an attachment to it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And if they get their shit together, it can be an amazing experience.
It's
You
never.
just got to
been
go to
good.
the right one at the right time, the
Yeah.
right people.
I've given it so many chances. Pete Harry's is just so much better.
Pete Harris is garbage too.
But it costs like
It's cheap,
$3
it's a
less an
cheap,
item.
easy. Sure.
I paid $3 for a burger. At least I'm not paying $6 for a thing that's worse.
I'm talking purely just quality of
Yeah.
food. In and out all the way.
In and out is so good. They have them in Austin.
Mm. Yeah.
Do I look crazy? I feel like I look crazy.
Dude, you've been acting kind of weird the whole time.
Now you've been acting real cool. You might get laid off this
I think
podcast.
so. Hey, anyone in the
Hey,
chat?
someone in the chat. Let us know.
Anyone in the chat want
I think you need to
to go home?
relax.
Yonder? I know Yonder's out here.
Yonder's fucking.
Here, I'll do this with the hair. All right, if anyone here wet,
Do you think we should,
put some W's in the chat for being wet. Come on now.
what do you mean by wet? Like vagina?
Yes, that's exactly what I meant.
We've only been doing it 56 minutes and 34 seconds.
Yeah, and these are rookie numbers. I
Oh,
always
that's
laugh
3
this long.
hours. In bed or on podcast?
Well, no. Okay. Let's let the mind wander. No one's laying pipe for an hour straight.
I have.
Dear Lord.
Why don't you just go slow and try to last as long as possible?
Yeah, it's not about finishing. You know what I'm saying? Just enjoying it. Enjoying your time.
Yeah. Just
You're a
making
better
it
man
work.
than
I might be.
me. Dude, there's nothing like just taking a compliment. What a powerful thing. No, I don't know.
Well, you should improv and come back with something so we can work with it.
From what? Wait.
On being so handsome and being a better man. And
I'm neither of those things.
so, what do you think about the beauty of humanity? Just the fact that we're human means that we have basically the basis of love, the foundation of love. So it's like,
Wow.
do we really need to do that much more to be loved? Or should we be
That's
loved
profound.
for who we are?
Anthony, you take the reign in this one.
What do you mean? Like, do you
Because
think?
if you love someone for their accomplishments, then are you really loving them for who they are? Don't you
No.
want someone that's going to love you and you're also going to be accomplished? Like, you don't want someone that loves you just for your accomplishments. You want someone that loves you
I
Your
think that's fair.
essence.
like a mother.
I don't love my wife for her accomplishments. You know.
No. Does she love you for yours?
I don't have much. I got kicked out of the military. I don't really. I got kicked out of the.
But you look like you're accomplished. Do you look
What? You think I look accomplished?
distinguished as gentlemen?
Mustaches.
You're like an adult.
I feel like an adult. Like
Very clean kept.
compared to, I think compared to most comics,
You're
I feel.
mature.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not really an accomplishment, is it? Or is it just?
I mean, what is an accomplishment besides the way that you carry yourself day to day?
So then an accomplishment is something that you would love somebody for. You know how they carry themselves.
Well, that's not what an accomplishment is.
You just, I guess.
Wow.
Joking.
Wow.
An accomplishment is actually doing something.
Hey, if you throw some Baby Gronk links in the chat for us, why don't you?
I swear to God, Baby
Well,
Gronk is
I
like
don't think it's just accomplishments, but it's like also looks.
I think looks are important. It's an attraction
Yeah,
thing.
but you don't want someone that just wants you
Yeah.
for your looks.
Correct.
I think it's a lie to say that appearance doesn't matter a little bit in a relationship.
I think we should act like we are loved and then build on top of that. I don't think you should have a foundation of coercion or
So you're like fake it until you make it with love. You should.
no, I'm saying that we shouldn't expect to be tortured for art. Like we shouldn't be like, oh, I need to be hurt to do art. And I think that's a foolish goal. Because we should write about humanity not from like a basis of just the very personal experience, but also like something universal. Like hopefully we go more into that instead of more into like your subjective opinion.
Interesting.
Man, you guys sound so fucking sad, dude.
Well, I'm literally sitting here like, what sort of weed does Hans have? Because this is, I both understand and don't understand the question.
Well, what do you think of the people that just are like, I'm from a poverty situation and that's my whole personality?
They should go. They should be unloved. They should die alone.
Who's like that though? I'm trying to think.
A lot of black comics.
Like they should be loved because of their poverty.
Yeah.
Or
that their poverty is their personality. Like I went through something rough and I got spanked, and being spanked is like.
Oh yeah, we were talking about whoopings earlier. Yeah, the idea of like I was whooped as a kid.
I just don't think that's a great foundation. I think that there could be like more.
Well, I think that's the beauty of comedy is you can have a variety of foundations and sources, but the end result, which is laughter, the output is always the same regardless of what the input is.
It's not a sustainable fuel. You can't just be like, I'm gonna
pain. No, I
constantly be in poverty so that I have something to write about.
Dude, I agree. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh man, dude, I was actually I know exactly what you're saying right now, but what I'm going to say is like incredibly unpopular of an opinion. I think you're 100% right, and I think whatever people are going to hate me for this. This is going to be like a controversial thing that the chat's going to turn on me for, and I don't care. I think that's what you get modern Dave Chappelle. I think Dave Chappelle's foundation was like, I am being oppressed, and now he's like a multi-billionaire wealthy man, and he's still making specials from like the perspective I'm being oppressed. But I feel like he feels as if what used to be like the social movement was like African American men were like the predominant social movement, and now it's turned into like the trans is like the social movement. And I feel like he's mad because there's like the civil rights discussion is no longer put on his community. So his result is to be like, no, trans people have it so good, we're still at the bottom. And I feel like a lot of Dave Chappelle's stuff is trying to justify his like oppression still, which is why he's like going after other like social movements.
I mean, you want to be yourself through oppression. You don't want to have the oppression define you. You don't want to be like, the oppression is who I am. You want to be like, I am a person that's going through oppression, and ideally this wouldn't be happening. And so that when you go through the oppression and you look back on it, you can be a person that isn't like, so like has to have oppression. You can just be an objective person and be like, okay, well, I went through that. What do I do now in a position of power? And that should be to pull other people up.
Powerful. That's powerful.
I think that's fair.
It's easy for me to say because I haven't really gone through the black experience. So I'm like, why do you always have to do that?
I don't think it's unique to one community. I think other people have.
Well, then why do they act that way?
Adversity. Oh, because it's the hot popular thing to do. So I think that's the beauty of social movement.
Maybe black people act.
You'd say
more for what they're going through, but I feel like they've gone through so much. Like it makes sense that they'd be like that. Like I'm surprised they're not worse.
Dude, now I'm so lost. Because what I hate about this is I keep biting. Hans. You get me to bite, and then you agree, and then you play devil's advocate with me. Now I'm more confused.
I'm so scared to talk.
I'm
So scared.
scared to talk, and I'm still talking, and I just know I'm setting myself back right now. I know I'm
just
setting myself
saying
back.
that it's easy for me to be like, oh, I'm just like an objective person. I'm not tainted by my subjective experiences.
Well, I try to be an objective person. I just give it what I would like to believe was a relatively objective take on Chappelle's comedy, and I know people hate that. Any sort of criticism towards him, like, is like
Well, I
forbid.
agree with you. Like, there's not like
Like, you can't even have like
the
the
point of
conversation.
view, the perspective. I feel like is kind
Yeah.
of weird.
Sure.
It's like when people talk about like the goats of comedy. Like, if you don't say Richard Pryor, people are like, you have no understanding of the historical significance, and like the conversation shut down. Or you could be like, but Joan Rivers also did a lot. You know, like, yeah, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like sometimes like just dialogues in general can be hard. I think that's like the core of like the oppression thing. It's also like this is not going to make sense. I'm thinking of two separate things, but it's like it's kind of like the note of like cancel culture is like societally you're expected to say one thing, right? For example, like you're expected to think that Richard Pryor is the greatest comedian of all time. I think in the same way, I feel like there's a lot of pressure, probably in the African American community, to like continue to portray the struggles of like early hip hop because society that's what people want from the African American community. Like they want you to be hip hop. They want you to feed into the narrative of like, you know, late 80s, early 90s, like pop culture within the community. They want like the oppression story has sold so well for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the you know, like the Jay-Z story is such a popular formula. Why would you break that and try to present yourself as like upper middle class? Boom.
Yeah.
How's that for an
That was
answer?
good.
Upper middle class.
Something sells, so you just keep presenting as it because
Yeah.
that's what's
It's hard to break
in the
out of
past.
it.
As an artist, as like I'm saying as an artist too. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm sure there's a lot of like affluent, wealthy. Like it's so funny because like right, like Tupac went to not Harvard, he went to Juilliard.
Art school, like an art school.
It's
Yeah.
like a prestigious art school, right? And it's not like he came out and was like, I want to do interpretive poetry, right? Which probably presumably like let's say Caucasian peers of his probably went in more traditional like artistic routes. Instead, Tupac had to talk about the streets because like that's what sold. And I'm sure he had African American peers that went to like more niche
Well,
movements, but it's what
it's just like
sold.
what he wanted to say too. Like it's a
Sure.
cool thing to say. I'm sure a lot of people would love to say that
I'm
as
sure free
opposed to
expression.
that's like the coolest thing to say. Like
Well,
what else?
but like presumably though, let's just say devil's advocate here, like he had a peer that went in to talk about like the plights of city planning or whatever. I don't know, like something less
The plights of city planning.
like yeah, like I'm sure there's some, you know, like or like blues or whatever, right? Something that just doesn't register on the mainstream because it's never sold as well as the hip hop narrative did in society at that time.
Sure.
Yeah, I think black people.
Matt Banwart's commentary on black women.
So you're just sick of black people. You're like, I've seen this before.
That's what you're saying.
That's what you're saying.
I think they have interesting and unique plights that differ greatly from mine as artistic people.
I think that
I don't think hey,
I think that
I
like
don't think I'll ever understand.
you need
And
to.
that's okay to admit.
That's good.
I
don't
think
think I'll-
It's all
I think you
speculative.
need to be an objective person,
I'm trying to be
and I
objective.
think it's important not to let your experiences, like, ruin who you are, because then you can't
Is that
succeed
right?
after you
Is that why
go
you
past the struggle.
Is that why you do a lot of like one-liner stuff because you find it just the most objective way of making commentary without like as opposed to like narrative comedians they like insert themselves often into jokes. You kind of just
Yeah,
do one-liners because you think that's
I
funny.
guess so. I don't know what I do.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, you don't know why you do it. Like,
What do you do? You're just like being
Yeah.
objective and neutral and just like trying to find the most objective take on things.
I feel like it's probably not. I feel like I input a lot of personal stuff into it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like mine's very. I try to be, I guess, to a degree, but I don't feel like I'm very objective at all in my joke writing.
That's good. So you tell a lot of like personal stories, like family stuff.
Some or like a lot of the jokes I tell are all influenced by things I just feel about certain topics.
Yeah. Emotions.
Like political topics,
I don't know, really just
Emotional.
mostly just jerking off and pornography and
There's a
pornography.
lot of his whole hour.
That's political.
I guess it could be.
Yeah, it's banned in Texas.
Yeah.
It's not really banned, but I mean, yeah, it is banned, right?
Kind of. It's been a lot harder for me. It's been a lot harder to be a lot harder, if you know what I mean.
It's getting a lot harder being harder out here. Amen, brother.
You in on this? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Come on. Hans. What are we doing here? Oh.
Getting a lot harder being harder.
Man, that'd be a
Great fun.
great podcast name where you just talk about how difficult it is to find porn. You guys swapping
Do you have a
VPNs?
VPN?
No, but I should. I should. Do
You
you
can
have a
get it for
VPN?
free. Yeah, I got a VPN.
You have a free VPN?
Yeah, if you put in a code and cancel at the right time.
I'll
This
use a
is
free trial.
sponsored by Hans Kim Gaming NordVPN.
Yeah, this would be a great place for a sponsor.
Yeah,
This could be.
would be.
What do you think about podcast advertisements?
What do you mean? Readings?
Like, do you
Ad
think
read?
like
I
it's
think
better to do it in person like they do on the Adam Friedland podcast? Or do you think it's better to add it in post like Theo Vaughn?
Or like Kill Tony does it in post. Well, they do a
Yeah.
mix. They do a mix. Sometimes they live read. I think live read probably has a.
They don't live read anymore.
Really? I'm sure there's metrics for retention. I'm sure retention is much better.
Do it in
But you
post.
gotta protect the show.
No,
or
you do it
otherwise
naturally.
people won't watch it.
I think post is how you do it. Just for
Yeah.
you don't fuck up. You can fuck up the ad as many times as you want. Get
And
it
you don't
perfect.
ruin the audience in person
Sure.
Yeah. Do you,
or the guest.
speaking of podcasts, since you work in the space, do you like, uh, I mean, oh God, I'm trying to think of like how I want to say this. I just want to know like your opinions on like, is there anything you notice that like makes someone good, or is there any like genre of podcasts you work with that you find like really fascinating?
There's a guy who comes in. He does like a Joe Rogan style where he just interviews people. That's probably the most successful person who records with us.
Nice.
And it's, you know,
Wow.
and then there's people who come in and just talk about fitness and health. It's
Yeah.
dumb shit sometimes. And
You don't like fitness and health?
I think it's good if that's what you're really into. I'm sure there's great people who talk about it. I don't really care for it personally.
It bores you?
It bores me. Yeah, I don't really care.
What is the general vibe of fitness and health people? Are they kind of vapid and
Not really vapid. It's almost just more medical. You know, they're just like
the hemoglobin?
yeah, it's just all
Dear
technical.
Lord.
And it's
I
really fun.
think there's a lot of like pseudoscience and like intentional misinformation in that space.
Yeah. The microphones really picked that up.
What is that?
That's my Roomba.
Yeah.
The front bumper is damaged. So every 8 p.m. it undocks and starts saying that.
I love that. That's very funny.
How to get damaged?
I don't know.
It
It
just
came
broke.
home, it was damaged. Maybe fell off a step or something.
Dang.
Was out fighting the good fight one night. We lost.
Well, what do you think about the UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship?
I don't really watch. I mean, I watch big fights, but that's about it.
Never
It's not
really
like there's a
watched
big, good card.
What's a big fight that you saw?
I can't even tell you the last one I
Wouldn't even
watched.
tell you.
What's one that is memorable?
I saw the Sugar Sean O'Malley
Just maybe a
fight.
Sugar Sean
I
fight.
watched
So.
his most recent one with he had the braids. I just like
Against Cheeto Vera,
yes, I think
the
that's
one that went 5 rounds,
yeah, I watched
went to a
part of it.
decision.
You know what I love that it's been integrated with comedy. I think it's like very fun that like I think there's a lot of respect. Like I saw like one of the door guys at Mothership, I don't know, he's always out front. Whatever. I saw like they posted like on a Mitzi's Instagram page or Mothership's page and they tagged him in it and I was like, I see this guy, 3 nights a week. I don't know his name. I mean, whatever. I don't really talk to him. I'm not like a regular there. I looked him up. He was like fighting that week, like because the door guys at Mothership are all like fighters. I thought it'd be really cool. I don't know this guy, but if
Those
I did,
tickets are so expensive. They're like
Really?
$100 per person.
it wasn't UFC. It was like an under.
I know.
Really?
Yeah, the underground
Local
ones are
fights?
so expensive. Yeah, I don't know why it's so.
Damn. Well, I was gonna say I thought it'd be really cool as like comedians if we all went and supported like the door guys fighting.
That would be really cool.
I think it'd be really fun.
Be a reversal
Yeah.
of roles.
Do you do jujitsu or anything?
Yeah,
Do you-
I'm a jiu-jitsu arrow.
Really?
Yeah, my favorite choke is the guillotine. I know how to. Yeah, I know how to increase the pressure arithmetically. So some point.
Well, are you like a belt? What belt are you?
I'm a blue belt.
That's pretty high up, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
decent.
one higher than white.
Oh, is it just the next?
Yeah,
Next.
the next.
Oh, okay.
But it denotes a huge change in skill level.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that. I've never been around the martial arts.
But I haven't done it in 7 years.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah.
Do you not? Is there any way you could lose a belt?
No.
Like if you're gonna
It's
go back,
permanent.
if you gotta keep it. So if you go start,
You can
tomorrow-
just buy a belt.
That's true. Yeah. But I think people will figure it out pretty
People will
quick.
figure it out.
Yeah, they're gonna say we checked the paperwork with the database of the International Jiu-Jitsu Council, and
Yeah.
it turns out you're actually just a
They can
white
figure
belt.
you out pretty quick.
Yeah, they
You
would
can
know.
always pretend to be worse than you are. You can get like a lower down belt.
Oh yeah, that
You
might
can
be
always
fun.
they always put out videos. That's good jujitsu content where they put out like a black belt goes as a white belt and he like taps out brown belts.
Oh really?
And they're like, "What the fuck? I got tapped out by a white belt."
That's very funny.
Yeah, it's like if a comedian signed up for an open mic.
Well, it kind of doesn't translate always. Actually, you're right.
It'd be a good sketch to be like, "Hey, this guy's gonna be at the open mic." They're like, "Who?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's really really good.
One
And he
time,
goes up there and bombs.
one time I was doing comedy in Des Moines. Ian Lara, you guys know Ian Lara,
Mm-hmm.
New York guy, very funny. He was headlining like the college across the street in Des Moines. It was like a private college, and then he dropped in and did like the Tuesday open mic in Des Moines. And I remember like he went up and no one was listening. Everyone started talking, and then he just murdered. And I remember being like, and like no one knew him. They didn't like Des Moines was like kind of like dicks to people that like weren't in the in crowd. But I just remember Ian Lar like went up and just like leveled that room for what he was doing. And afterwards, I was like, I mean, I walked right up because he was just sitting in the corner quiet, and it was like kind of before he's done like the Tonight Show like a million times since then. He's like a seller guy now. And I remember
Ian
being like,
Lara.
yeah, Ian Lara.
That's amazing to see the potency of comedy just explode into a room
Yeah.
and make a group of people
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he leveled. And when I was like, dude, like, there's
increase
no
their
way.
happiness by so much.
Yeah, it was. It was amazing. But it was like all these dorm, and they were kind of like being rude to him beforehand. And then he just went up and leveled. And I remember I walked up to him. I was like, that was crazy. Like, who are you?
Yeah.
Because like,
Who
there's
are
no
you?
way. Like, and he was like this.
My name's
guy.
Ian Lara.
Ian Lara, he killed it. He just killed it at Des Moines Open like one night. He just went up. He didn't need to. He made his money off the college show, but he did it anyway, and it was sick as hell.
I saw Tyler Fisher do that at the Mothership mic. I was on the mic, and then he went up. He did like a guest spot on the cruise show.
God, he's so good.
He did 4 minutes, and he's like, there was not a moment where they stopped laughing. Like he was just on the entire time. Just
He was on some Vulcan show. I remember like thinking like this show's not going well. And then he went up and I just remember like went outside, he came back and he was on stage and I was like, this room's great. What the hell? Dude, that Tyler Fisher is crazy.
yeah, he crushes.
He crushes.
Yeah, he's so funny. He's little, he's small,
So small.
and it's like he uses that.
Yeah, he has really good small jokes.
Yeah.
Really? I mean I just remember like
Well, he just uses everything he has to the
Mhm.
utmost.
He's doing a lot of
Everything is to the
voices.
max.
when I saw him, he was
Like, that's the art of comedy in a nutshell.
it can be sometimes it can be the art of restraint though. Like think of
Well,
like,
there's nowhere higher you can go. That's like hardest you can kill. So
the
like
way
what
he
he's
does, yes,
doing it
you're
is
right.
like, using who he is and telling jokes and
the physicality, the
yeah.
voices, everything's a full
And that's the beauty of it is like you can be retarded and be a great stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
It's not about
Shout out.
intelligence all the time.
Don't shout at anybody else.
I just said
Shout out all the retards.
Yeah, I did that. Mine was no individual. Mine was the community
Just in
at large.
general.
Yeah, just retards in
You're
general.
gonna say someone's name.
No. Shout out Anthony Pappaly. Shout out. Drop his at in the chat.
Grab my ad, please.
Chat at.
W if you're part of the community.
Where the chat at?
Yeah. No,
The
mine
chat
was-
should
yeah.
have their own Instagram.
Yeah. My shout out was just for the community at large.
Yeah, I mean the retards are great. That's why
I mean, that's what
you can be big, you can be small. Like it doesn't take a big guy to kill really hard.
No.
That's true. It's true.
And it's just beautiful to see the pinnacle of the art form, just using every You're playing with the whole bow, as they say in violin.
Yes. I think comedy is also a thing where like I'll really hone in on a certain skill set and then I'll just forget about it because I'm focusing on something else.
Yeah, like your posture.
Yes.
Oh,
Make
you'll
my
have
posture
like
better.
you'll have like good posture on it.
Or like I'll be like doing like voices, you know what I mean?
Now you
And
make
then
good
like
voices.
and then I'll stop and I'll be like, oh, I want to work on technical writing or whatever.
Yeah.
Is my
I'm
posture
gonna work
bad?
on. No, it's just a
No,
joke that
okay.
It's just a joke that I used to do. I was like,
Really?
every time I do comedy, I like to work on a different thing. Tonight, it's posture.
Everything but joke writing.
Yeah.
I want to make more eye contact with certain people.
Is this working? It's so funny when people go up there and they're just like doing some weird shit. It's like they're like, I'm gonna do something really simple with the audience.
Yeah.
That isn't really
I'm the countdown guy.
entertaining.
Where's Franz?
Hans, where's Franz?
Franz.
Franz, Ferdinand.
Is he just doing wordplay or
Hans
is
and
that
Franz.
a person in your
SNL
life?
sketch.
Oh,
Hans and Franz.
the pump you up guys?
Yes. I know all the Hans references at this point.
Hans.
Oh yeah, dude.
Hans
Die
Gruber
Hard.
from Die Hard.
Yeah.
Huge.
Takanomi Plaza.
Huge.
Hans
You're so
Blix,
plugged in.
the weapons inspector. Hans the composer. Hans Zimmerman.
Mr. Zimmer
Hans
himself.
Landa from Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, Hans
That was a
Landa.
new one.
That's a good one.
Han Solo, but that's not really
Yeah.
a true Hans pun.
Yeah. That's what you are right now. You're Hans and you're solo.
Well, I like to think I was on a podcast with you guys.
We're here, yeah.
You know,
I was.
kind of feels like I'm solo sometimes.
Come on now, stop. We've left
said
you.
it.
We've left you high to dry. No, I meant like single. Like you're single.
I'm not
Or you're
single.
not
I'm in a
single.
relationship.
Oh, you are in a relationship. I don't know anymore. I don't know.
You don't know nothing, do you?
Well, what
I
do you
guess I
think is?
I guess I really don't know you.
It's just more black
Like,
philosophy. I don't.
Yeah, dude, hey, throw me an easy one. Ask me about black culture again.
What do you think is wrong with me?
Your posture. I don't. No, well, there's not wrong with someone is such like a crazy question because wrong is like the most subjective thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you had to pick one thing,
So I'm in Asia. No, I don't know.
I would say what's wrong with you.
I didn't ask that. You can say. You can.
No, I'm just
say.
saying. I'm
No,
just
you
kidding.
can. You can say. I'll get myself anyway.
I think that you're a great guy.
You need a
You're
little bit more
happy
confidence, maybe.
and you're. I just think that's just life. Like that's how it's gonna be. Like you're gonna be a young man. That's just the level of confidence you're gonna have. I don't think you should try to have more or less. I don't think it's important. It's a skill issue.
Skill issue.
Everything's a skill issue. It's like if you get better, then you don't need confidence.
Skill issue is my favorite. Like when someone's complaining, you just go skill issue.
Just get better.
Skill issue.
I have a friend who does that, and every time,
Like a Gen Z drawl.
yeah,
Like a Gen Z apathy.
yeah, it's like skill issue. It's like
Whatever. I don't care about your problems.
skill issue. That one-
I'm working on my record Rubik's Cube time.
yeah, you can't rizz up models like Baby Gronk does.
Baby,
Skill issue.
Skill issue.
Baby Gronk.
I'm gonna go home and look at Baby Gronk, and if it sucks, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Send me.
Is he a
DM me.
good football player? Isn't that funny that football is like such a big deal because we're stupid?
I love football, dude.
If it was a better culture, if we were more advanced, where do you think football would be?
Baseball.
Where
Football would be
baseball
baseball.
Baseball would be horseback riding.
Like,
Like
what do you
some
mean? Where
weird
would it
thing.
be? Like, what would it be?
Like, would it be as prominent in our culture? Would it be the number one entertainment?
Oh, I think football is a game of intricacy and nuance. I just say it's the circus. That's like because when I was in college, I once got in a fight. This is so dumb with like a lady who was like really invested into like theater, and she was like, "It's dumb that the football program has all these people go there and not to theater." And I was like, first of all, we're Iowa State. Our theater department was worse than most high schools, just talent wise. And then also I was like, but does football not employ people in the arts? Is there not graphics, logo designers,
Camera
music,
guys, yeah.
camera guys,
Do you think they're getting paid
technicians?
well?
people have to maintain the field, do the arts. Yeah. I mean, I think if you're a groundskeeper for a major football field, I'm sure you're paid,
I hope
well
so.
past the six figures.
But I'm sure there's a lot of abuse.
What are they, models?
You don't think football people are like, oh, you want to work for us for free? Yeah, go ahead.
No. I'm sure if you're a groundskeeper, I'm sure you're getting paid real. That's crazy that you could not fathom abuse in the modeling community, but you're like,
NFL groundskeeper.
I was just floating that idea by you. I didn't know you guys would take it so personally.
Take it personally.
Well, here's the thing: is that,
football
yeah, okay,
groundskeepers.
football produces jobs, but it's not as many jobs as is ideal. It's probably fewer jobs because we have a
Yes.
monoculture,
Sure.
and everyone is funneled into this one thing,
Everyone.
which is like a majority
Yeah,
of
I get
people.
that.
So it's just like not the best situation. We don't have like a
Sure.
rich culture. We don't like know a lot of different things. We just know
Okay, but
football.
here's a perhaps
Riposte.
interesting retort. So like let's say like the football applying jobs in the arts, right? Or let's like you're a football photographer, right? The beauty of football is it's very seasonal. It only lasts for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months out of the year.
Yeah.
So if you make enough money, right? Because presumably if you're an NFL videographer or photographer, you're making a year's salary within the season. That means you have also like, and I actually know a lot of photographers that do like sports photography.
I'm sure it produces jobs.
But what I'm saying is it pays you so much because there's just so much money in the space for like crazy, everyone's looking for the next Michael Jordan poster.
Yeah, but don't you think it'd be better if we had a richer,
Like what, though?
But what I'm saying is the nature
chess?
of the
Chess?
seasonality
Yeah.
of the
What's
sport
What's jobs, though?
is for 6 months.
You don't,
They can
you
do
don't
whatever
think
they
there's
want.
jobs in chess?
I think it's probably a lot less.
But
But it shouldn't take over football. It should just be more shit than football.
it's not mutually
healthy.
exclusive though. You can do both.
Yeah,
you
but
can
it's
be
too much one and not enough of the other right now. You think that we have a rich, diverse cultural palette as Americans, or you think we're dumb
actually.
blobs?
I think chess is on the up and up right now.
It is. It should be more on the up and up, and we should have we should have a diversity in the ecosystem because it's healthy creatively. It's not good for
think chess
football
is way up
players
right
to
now.
like.
It's
Yeah,
capitalism.
it's great. It's good. Yeah,
makes too much
capitalism is horrible.
I think the free market's going to dictate how people want to be entertained.
I want to see titties in football.
I want to see your pawns.
Man, it's getting a lot harder being harder. Dude.
I want to see. Yeah, it's a lot harder getting harder. Come on now.
What? What are you guys talking about? You guys just said nonsense.
We literally
This whole
just said
thing's
nonsense, dude. Dude, we were talking about Baby Gronk at the start of this.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you guys are defending football so hard, but
Oh,
I think it's a fun sport. I'm just saying, like, it shouldn't be like the pinnacle. I don't think it's the best sport.
Agree.
I
It just is what it is, though.
it is what
Yeah, I know it could be better. That's what I'm saying.
So you would what would your substitution for football?
Chess.
Chess.
A lot of chess, a lot of StarCraft 2.
I'm a huge Dota 2 guy.
I like UFC. I think UFC is the ultimate sport.
I think Dota 2 is.
Kickboxing is criminally underrated, according to Joe Rogan as well.
Really? Let's get on kickboxing, guys.
Yeah. Combat kickboxing.
I think
what other sport? Like every sport in the Olympics, that should be like
Yes.
You should have like a version of that. Like whoever is the most popular sport. Jiu-jitsu. I think jiu-jitsu is a great sport.
Watching races is fun as fuck. I would track was on at a bar the other day. We were at literally me and my brothers were in town. We're getting chicken at the chicken place. They were showing a track event. I was watching the 400 meters and I was like, this is great. I mean, every race is like its own little narrative, Tight. You're gonna be in first, not gonna be in first.
You know what's crazy about football jobs is like what little corner of the economy that you can occupy and make a living out of. Just like getting like the little droppings from the gutter from the NFL.
But like, I think what might be the a beauty. Yes, I agree. I think, but also like one thing that probably puts track behind is football. You associate with a team, right? Like, let's say like the Cleveland Browns are your team. Heaven forbid.
The worst team in the league.
Yeah, but like generationally though, you know what I mean? Like in 20 years, there's still gonna be the Cleveland Browns, right? But if you just follow like the track circuits, it's like your favorite person maybe lasts only, I don't know, whatever the amount of time is. And then it's like, well, and I have to find another runner that I like, It's like, who do you cheer for? Probably fluctuates so much. It's not like I mean, like I like the Lakers.
But some would say that's a bad thing about football because you're just like a color and a logo. You don't get to know the actual people as much as you would in an individual sport.
But I'm saying, I mean, that's hard though. It's hard to follow an individual, especially if they're only going to last for 1 year or they're going to be out real quick or whatever.
I mean, it works for like, like Lance Armstrong,
Yeah.
like swimmers and.
I think that's why we fall
Well,
in love with the rare people who have like full
There's a lot of
dominant
beautiful
careers.
culture in sports teams, like the Boston whatever,
Celtics.
the Red Sox.
Oh yeah.
Sucks, yeah.
So they like, people gather around, they have the stadium, it's important to them.
I think it's dumb that people root for a team and then all the players are not even from. Like I think if you play for a team, you have to
It
be.
should be like the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like if you represent that team, you have to be in that area code.
Like you can only play for the Ravens if you're from.
But then they wouldn't get paid as much because they couldn't leave.
I think that's why people like college football because it's more of that. Like
Right.
A little bit
you
more.
are it's not that, I'm sure.
It's like your recruiters.
Yeah, I'm sure 40% of the Wisconsin Badgers aren't from Wisconsin, but they have such a threshold on local fans where if you are from Wisconsin, that is where you would go. So like I grew up in Iowa. I know like people from my high school played for the Hawkeyes, which is like cool because they get the same level of like publicity as NFL sports. And it's like, well, that guy I mean, he's accessible. Like I know him.
Yeah.
Even if
It
it's
made it more like a hometown team.
I think that's why college sports is so big is because it's like
Actually, Alabama versus
yeah.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like it's not the majority of the team, but a good number, more so than professional sports, are actually from that area.
Right, I get it, but it's also like those are college kids coming from all around the country to play.
Not all, yeah, what I'm saying is probably lesser than a higher percentage than NFL
It's
teams.
just gonna be fun because all these black cities would dominate, dude.
It's so much fun.
Baltimore, Detroit. Oh, it's Miami always in the Super
We can
Bowl.
find out which town produces the most bitches. Like statistically, you guys produce
we had the
17
cheerleaders there.
intersections.
Yeah,
Just
That would-
judge their genetics.
they should do that. Like the Olympics, how you have to represent your country, like or like the World Cup for soccer. They should do that for like football, but within America, where it's like, all right, once every 4 years we do the state cup, where it's like they have to be whatever age range, whatever.
Well, that's
And
why
it's-
individual
they
sports are
play it
kind of
out.
awesome
That would be sick.
because you just know where they're from. They're like, oh, this guy represents Sweden.
Yeah. I don't know, but I'm saying but it's a team sport though, because there'd be some states like Wyoming is so unpopulous where it'd be like, who the hell is playing wide receiver for Wyoming?
Yeah. That'd suck if you're the best and you're just born in a shitty state.
Yeah. But for example, Iowa, we have all these fat farm kids. We have a bunch of O linemen from Iowa, but we don't have a good quarterback in Iowa,
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe if someone was given the shot, they would rise to the occasion.
That's why we need to do this. Every 4 years, we should do the World Cup for football where you have to represent your state and the states play it out. And then Ohio wins every year. Or Florida.
That'd be fun.
I'd be cool.
Do it by region,
Yeah.
like the fucking.
Where it has to be, you have to, it's like you said, the World Cup, where every.
You have to be from there.
Yeah.
Anthony, what do you think about sport and the bread and circus of pleasing the masses?
I think sports dumb. I think society would be fine without sports.
But wouldn't it be so much less colorful?
I think it'd be fine.
What do? You don't watch sports?
I used to watch sports. I don't really care anymore.
As a childish activity?
I don't think it's childish. I just don't think it has merit. I think it's just a distraction from what's really going on in the world.
So what do you watch?
They just pump money.
You're just always reading the newspaper and
I don't even read the news. I try to stay as uninformed as I can.
what do you do with all your time?
I try to write these terrible jokes.
Yeah, dude.
I just watch terrible TV.
Like How I Met Your Mother?
No, I don't. I'm not that bad. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I know a guy that watches it exclusively.
That and like Big Bang Theory.
Oh, yeah.
Those shows, I can't stand them.
Yeah, it's so fake.
Yeah, it's fake.
It's like an old language. They're trying to communicate in smoke signals.
We kind of live in I once had a teacher in high school say that the golden age of video or movies was the 30s and 40s. for whatever reason was her fixation. That she
Yeah.
goes, we live in the golden age of TV with like Breaking Bad or like high produced, like well thought out,
Mm-hmm.
you know, high production value.
Breaking Bad
TV.
was so good. Do you think movies are not as good as TV shows?
I think they can be, but I think that lately TV shows have been crushing.
Have you
Yeah.
seen Fallout? That's my new favorite show.
Now, is it good?
I saw 2
Yeah,
episodes of it
so
and I was impressed. I
It's
never, I
such a
rarely watch
beautiful
TV shows, but I like I watch when I like them. I just never make the time to finish anything.
I like the lore and that there's like it's all thought out. Someone thought about it. It's a universe. It's not just like two people. One's pregnant and they need an abortion.
Yeah.
The other one's going blind. I don't like those kind of movies like Lady Bird.
Oh yes.
Lady Bird or something.
Just like the meaningless kind of like wandering narratives of like
Yeah.
a mundane life where it's like nothing of any true value happens. Like
Yeah.
Napoleon Dynamite, where it's like there is no real plot of Napoleon. It's just kind of this guy lives in this town in North Dakota and we just kind of
Sketches. It's like little snippets. Like what
Yeah.
are some funny moments we can make?
just slices of his life and you're just like, well, here's just him doing this thing and
The
him doing this other
malaise,
thing.
the apathy of a directionless, pointless life.
I think I like those movies.
Why?
Oh, I do too. I'm just trying to clarify the genre.
I don't know. It's just like it's like a snapshot of like
I
a
like
real.
those too.
I thought you
I
hated
like
them.
Forrest Gump.
No, your things
No,
that
I
you said
think
you
the
hated
other
them.
stuff.
No,
Well,
you
the
don't.
other one stuff that we're talking about.
Napoleon Dynamite.
No, not that.
You just ate Lady Bird. You just don't like the movie Lady Bird, is what you're getting at?
But there was some movie that I liked.
Napoleon Dynamite.
No, before that. Well, anyways, there's like fun, exciting, fast-paced movies and world
TV
building like
shows.
Fallout. And
Yeah.
then there's like, oh, this is happening in the real world or whatever.
Yeah, I like The Bear.
Oh, that
The cooking show.
yeah.
I love it. I love the pacing. I'm like so ADD. It's like the only thing I can really watch.
Okay. Last show I really liked was Succession.
Never watched it.
Ever watched it?
I've had a million people explain it to me. It sounds really cool.
So good, so funny, very
Really?
funny show. Yeah.
I hate that that's how the world works. And that's how they think the world works is through high-powered conversation. Call you on the phone. The deal's off. You said 51. I meant 47.
Dude, I want to do that so bad. I want to just in the middle of my day, like I want someone to see me at some point. Might be like, sell the business. Like,
It's all about the phones in that show.
oh
I
god,
love a good phone call.
we
It was a
love
good
it.
phone call show.
Huge.
Art of making phone calls interesting. If you could do that, that's why like people are like Game of Thrones is slow. I'm like, dude, there's so much happening in this
And
scene.
the dialogue.
Yeah, like the queen is now saying that she's not gonna support the king.
Yeah.
Whoa.
My favorite TV show is the 3rd season of Digimon.
Is everything a joke to you?
I never
No,
watched it.
no, I'm very serious. I love Digimon Tamers. I think it's one of the greatest shows of all time.
Never watched it.
Have you seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I think that's one.
Great show.
That's me and my brother's favorite like animated show of all time.
I'm an airbender actually. Like if I was in that
If you would be.
universe, I'd be an airbender.
Why? Why?
'Cause I'm so light on my feet and
You are.
I'm
I've seen him hoop. I can
bouncing off
confirm.
the walls
Yeah, dude.
because I just go with the flow and I'm
It's beautiful.
capable of producing large amounts of energy.
I feel like you'd be a firebender. I just feel like you. I feel like you.
Oh, because they're
want you.
depicted as
they're
Asian
Asian.
in the show.
Aang is Asian.
They're all Asian.
They're all Asian.
Not the waterbenders.
Waterbender.
And anyways, which is kind of
Asian. Yeah, secretly they're just Mongolians that went too far north.
Yeah, that was a good show.
I love
Solid show.
Avatar.
Great show.
I saw 2 episodes. I pirated it. I refused to actually pay for it. I watched 2 episodes of the Netflix version of it. And I'm gonna finish it eventually. I just refuse to pay to support live action Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, don't support the live action one. I heard it's not that good. I don't know why they keep trying to do that.
It's
Like, hey,
second one.
you know the
And, like,
show that
it
everyone
was-
likes? Make more of that. Why are you
Here's
trying
the
to
thing.
change the formula?
I think they got the visual and the casting right. Like visually, it was like aesthetically appealing. From the first,
You're like,
Who-
these guys are clearly Asian. Nailed it.
nailed it. Visually, it looks like technology to that point where you can make the video. It was literally.
You would be an earthbender.
Yep.
Are they? They're not Indian.
No,
they
we're
are.
just saying you would be.
They're just kind of like a
Earthy people.
more Filipino.
I think you would either be an airbender or you'd be a firebender because you eat spicy food. So
There was one Indian guy in there. He was the shaman guy, the chakra guy.
is it the watermelon guy that kept losing?
No.
No, that's cabbages. It was actually cabbages.
Cabbages. Yeah.
My cabbages.
That's a very Indian kind of thing to do.
But there's an Indian.
So cabbages at the side of the road.
Yeah. Don't you think?
Yeah, I guess.
He was the one who told Aang he has to open up his chakras.
Really?
Oh, when you open your chakras.
Hey, don't have actually. You can do that voice.
You can do the Asian
When
way.
you do the chakras, you see, you will become one thing.
See, you should do it because it makes me jealous.
Do the Indian accent?
Yeah,
Oh, him doing that?
yeah. I mean, I'm like, I want to do that. That sounds fun.
Thank you. Come again.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Are you Indian?
Yeah. Maybe I'm Italian. I've been telling people I'm Italian. People,
You're not Italian.
I've been telling
Tell
people I'm
them you're
half.
Moor. You're Moorish.
I'm Moorish. What is Moor? I don't even
It's
know.
like Othello is a Moor or something. It's like the Northern African
Oh, like,
like,
yeah.
Really?
Moor legend.
Like Libyan,
Yeah.
Moroccan, or something.
Algerian.
Algerian.
It's a country I'm thinking of.
Egypt.
No, it's even further north in Africa. It's like it like sticks out.
Western Sahara.
No.
From the halls of Tripoli. What is it?
Oh, whatever. Who cares?
Where is Tripoli at? Is that
I don't even know.
Algeria.
Montezuma?
Isn't Tripoli in Algeria?
Dude, we're ripping on the spot right now, dude.
You guys want to go home?
I think it's about time.
I
Dude,
think
yeah.
I'm about done. I gotta go.
I think the
Okay.
energy's low.
Okay, let me just read these African countries.
Let's read out some African countries.
Egypt,
Shout
Libya, Tunisia, Morocco is what I was thinking of.
Shout out Morocco.
Algeria, Tunisia.
Hey, W's in the chat for Morocco. Guys, spam some W's. Let's get this energy up. Let's get this energy up from Morocco and Tunisia. Tunisia was the country I was thinking of.
Tunisia.
Oh, yeah.
Tunisia was the country, baby.
What do you think about
Tunisia.
Tunisia? Is that where they filmed Star Wars?
No, but there's a comedian in Chicago from Tunisia, and it's like the most northernmost country of. It's like essentially just like southern Italy, and he was like, "I'm African," and I was like, "Sure you are."
That's good. I'm glad that he gets to be
Yeah,
fused for a white person. That's what his ancestors did the right thing.
Well, his recent ancestors probably. Well, tits.
He was in the right area at the right time.
Tits on these playing cards. Probably
All right. Thank you guys.
far enough away they